I think it's the same thing with developers trying to do like Easter eggs or little events or something brand new. For an example, the Tarkov event. There'll be a data miner that'll just be like, oh, by the way, we've got a Tarkov event. There's a new stim. There's a new smoke grenade. There's this. If you shoot this, it'll also activate this. I want to see a video of someone doing that by accident, stumbling onto this and being like, yo, look what I've just found. Whereas now it's just, oh, by the way, here is all the information you need in a nice Word document. Enjoy. And then everyone uses that as the meta. Oh, hello! Welcome to episode 2 of the Azzcast. And last time, if you saw the episode, I was joined by Shifty and Fragger, part of the mod team. And today we're also joined by the Scotsmav, which is also another member of the mod team. And in this episode, we do want to look at a few subjects. So some of the subjects would be New World with the huge Return to Aeternum event. We've got Call of Duty, it's just dropped, so there's going to be some speculation, some thoughts, and some ideas about that, especially with DMZ coming up soon. We've also got Dark and Darkers on a playtest this weekend, or this weekend of recording. It's just a 2-day playtest. A bit of Overwatch, because some of us are fans here, and we've also got a little bit of real life in there as well, but you're going to have to wait to find out what we're going to talk about on that. So as we're all here, I've taken your time up on a Saturday evening. We're going to kick it off with Call of Duty. Who's played it? Who hasn't played it? What's your thoughts? All right, go on, Mav.
I spent most of today playing it. Only meant to play an hour or two, and I think about 6 or 7 hours disappeared. So that's a good sign straight away. The campaign is sensational. Haven't played much of the multiplayer, but it's like being in like a Michael Bay movie or something like that. There's so many big,
a lot of that.
Yeah, there's so many like big long cutscenes, and just the graphics and the cutscenes and everything's just out of this world.
What about if you run the game on a average PC? Even if you drop the graphics down, do you think you still get that wow effect?
I think you would still get it in the cutscenes. Well, I'm running it on a 980 Ti, so I was, as far as I'm aware, getting at least 60 to 100 and something FPS. I wasn't watching the counter. It was up in the corner of my screen, but I was way more distracted. Yeah.
Okay. And have you just tried the campaign, or have you tried a bit of the multiplayer as well?
Just the campaign. Got reasonably far. Well, I don't actually know if it's reasonably far through, but
I feel like
it's getting there, and it will keep you gripped, definitely.
So the story's good then?
Yeah, the story's fantastic.
What was your favorite story, Call of Duty?
My favorite story of any Call of Duty?
Any.
Throwing that on me, aren't you?
I am.
Honestly, I can't remember. It's been so long since I actually enjoyed a story. Because the last few Call of Duties didn't even have a story mode, did they?
I can't even remember. I've fallen off the wagon. I'm going to be honest. Throw my hands up. I've fallen off the Call of Duty wagon.
I'm pretty sure Advanced Warfare didn't have it. That was probably my last one that I played actively multiplayer.
Yep.
Until Modern Warfare 1. And I'm pretty sure you were able to buy them separately.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, I think you could buy the multiplayer and the story mode, and I just never bothered. Even though, don't get me wrong, I used to love them.
Yeah.
Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3 were fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But, no, Modern Warfare 1 did have a story mode, and I did enjoy that one. But with the price increase on Modern Warfare 2, and me not being gripped by the multiplayer as much as with Modern Warfare 1, the 2019 one, I can't see me buying it.
Yeah, no, I'm in exactly the same shoes. I think probably Shifty will probably be in the same shoes. I'm intrigued by it, and there's a lot of good feedback. Is it enough for me to buy it just to play the campaign? Because you got DMZ and Warzone, they're coming free of charge, aren't they?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's dragging me to it. I mean, yeah, I'll enjoy a campaign, but I can't remember the last time I sat down and played a single-player game and just enjoyed the story, you know?
The only times I do that The only times I do that is when I fancy re-downloading Skyrim or New Vegas or something, like an old single-player RPG.
Fallout 3 that's just come out on free in the Epic
Yeah.
Store. I can't download it. I couldn't. I had to fight the urge just in case.
I think it's gone now. I think it's Mechanicus now.
It ran out like a day or two ago, I think.
Thursdays.
With you being the only person here that's played it, Mav, I'm hearing a lot of speculation about the crafting system. I've not seen a single video. I've not seen a single thing. This is just mainly tweets that I've seen. And there's been a lot of speculation that the crafting system that's in the campaign could be maybe a little Easter egg or a hint, or maybe the direction that they're going to take DMZ. Have you experienced that crafting yet?
I've experienced the crafting. I wouldn't say that the actual crafting that they do in the actual levels and everything like that would be particularly indicative of what it's going to look like in DMZ, because it's making things like, well, maybe making things like Molotovs and whatever like you can do, but I think it's more the looting that you can do in the actual campaign that makes more sense of how you're actually going to do it in DMZ, where you're running around trying to find different ingredients for different things. The crafting is more akin to the likes of 7 Days to Die or Rust.
Yeah.
It's where you've got a radial menu and it shows you what you've got ingredients wise in the middle, and then you pick from whatever it is on the radial menu. So it takes some getting used to, and as usual, I've done the thing where you collect all the stuff and you run around with a full inventory without crafting anything because you don't 100% need to.
Yep.
You can get by without doing it, but there is also like Easter eggs if you do some of them.
With the looting as well, because I've not heard a single thing about the looting. I thought it was just going to be, press F to pick that gun up, or, whatever, if you're on a console or something. But is there a bit more of a detailed looting system?
Yeah, there's like items like you can pick up raw explosives, or if you open a box, there might be a sight for your gun in it.
Okay.
Or like that shocked me when I saw it as well. I was like, oh, put a sight. Okay, cool, awesome. But you can also pick up like what they call bindings, which is like rope or something like that, or bottles or things like that, and make up your consumable weapons, I suppose.
Yeah.
From that.
So maybe DMZ will be more in the regards of the cycle,
100%.
but more real life.
It's
so
gonna
rather than
cycle, but
having
not on a planet, like not on a outer planet kind of thing. I've always said that. I always think that, and I hope I'm right. If I'm not, oh well, I tried.
that's how I imagine it. It's not going to be as much as you need to find a battery, metal, spare parts, and I don't know, a red dot, or like it's something stupid to build an actual red dot, because obviously there's a lot of stuff in guns that are universal, like foregrips, sights, but like stocks and all that kind of stuff. They're going to be quite simple and universal, and with just some game magic, this AK stock is somehow going to fit on this M4.
Yeah.
Which in real life you'd need an adapter, but you'll just use a bit of duct tape probably.
Yeah, it's going to be simplified down.
Yeah.
Hopefully. It could be something that is completely different to what we're imagining, but I think it's just going to be a simpler version of Escape from Tarkov, but part of me wishes it's some hyper-realistic Escape from Tarkov direct competitor.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening, but I'd love that to happen. We spoke about it last time on the Azzcast.
Yeah, rather than finding a 30 centimeter AR barrel for 5.56, you'll find a AR barrel.
Yeah.
An AR extended barrel or something like that.
Or a 5.56 barrel, and it'll be the longest you can possibly have. And if you want to have it shorter, you need to find a hacksaw.
Yeah.
Speculation.
Sometimes simpler is better.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, with we haven't had any more news regarding DMZ, but we haven't had any more news regarding Warzone either, have we? We know it's going to be a different map. We know that DMZ is going to be on the same map as Warzone. What is Warzone? Are they dubbing it Warzone 2?
Pretty sure there's been leaks very recently, but I've stayed away from them because I want to remember that first feeling you had. No, but remember that first ever feeling you had on Tarkov You went on, you had no fucking clue what to do.
Hmm.
I want that with DMZ if I can.
Yeah.
I want to go in there and not have to know all the guys. I don't want to know the best in slot weapon. I don't want to know where to find what. I want to go out there and get killed
Mystery.
and learn. Yeah. Have the old Tarkov feeling
We'll never
without
get that
being
again.
buckshot in the face.
I don't think we'll ever get that now because we're in the age. I always call it the age of hackers because we're hackers. All of their software is developing and just getting better and better and better as the developers are also doing their bit to try and fight off the hackers. But I think it's the same thing with developers trying to do like Easter eggs or little events or something brand new. For an example, the Tarkov event. There'll be a data miner that'll just be like, oh, by the way, we've got a Tarkov event. There's a new stim. There's a new smoke grenade. There's this. If you shoot this, it'll also activate this. I want to see a video of someone doing that by accident, stumbling onto this and being like, yo, look what I've just found. Whereas now it's just, oh, by the way, here is all the information you need in a nice Word document. Enjoy. And then everyone uses that as the meta. And
Yeah.
I don't want that. I do want what you've just said. I want to be able to go into DMZ and be like, what do I do now? Because gunshots that way, I don't know, kind of thing.
You want a bit of the chaos.
Yeah.
And if they make DMZ anything, or the new Warzone map anything like as atmospheric as some of the campaign maps, it will be amazing as well.
Is that going to be possible though with it? Because we spoke about it last episode. There's meant to be the capabilities of up to 100 players. I can't see that on DMC. We spoke about that before.
I'm still skeptical on that one.
And that's just them saying the servers are capable, or we could if we had to, you know. But I don't know. I'm really excited for it, but I'm trying to not put all my eggs in the basket as well.
That could be a really good thing for esports, though. I can see that being fun, watching 100 people on there.
Mm.
But day to day, like your casual gamer, he doesn't want to fight off essentially 99 other people.
See, what DMZ need to do is they want to be able to attract those casual gamers, or even if you're not casual, but you have a full-time job or you have restrictions that don't allow you to play for 5+ hours a day. Those people struggle on Tarkov. And I see them on Twitter, they're complaining and things are hard and the metas and people running around with the best stuff they've got, or the meta stuff, or best in slot, whatever you want to call it. I want DMZ to be able to attract to those as much as the people that want to grind as well. It's a hard balance. It's a very hard balance, but maybe it attracts them. And you can just go, oh, I finished work. I've got an hour or two free. Let's go play some DMZ. Rather than, I need to run interchange for chumming. Killer might be there kind of thing. I just think it might be a really good selling point.
Oh, 100%.
It's all speculation, and I'm excited to find out.
Yeah. There's even some aspects throughout the campaign that you can see are clearly lifted from Warzone.
Okay.
Like armored enemies.
Yep.
When you break their armor, you get that same blue.
Yeah, the blue
armor
like,
crack
armor crack
symbol.
thing.
Yeah.
I noticed that on the beta.
Honestly, it sounds to me like the campaign right now is trying to get you into multiplayer, into DMZ, and into Warzone.
Yeah.
By just, it's more like the campaign is really good, but also introducing you to every single step.
Yeah, it's giving you the mechanics.
So maybe the building the weapon is, if not the same, very close to how it's going to be in DMZ.
I haven't got far enough to actually build an entire weapon, but I've got where you like open a box and you can put sights on guns. That's about it. And it was different sights for different guns, even though it was the same one in the box. But hey-ho. But it was all just the red dots.
Right.
And the sniping in it is good fun in the campaign.
Do you think that's easily transferable to online?
Possibly. It does. It has decent bullet drop, and it like at least in the mission, you're getting called out of how many notches down the person is away for the bullet.
Okay.
So it's holding your hand through it as well, but it's and it did seem to have being able to do collaterals through people, so that was cool.
Because I've seen a lot of footage on the release of multiplayer, and even when I played in the beta as well, they've taken it, they've stripped sniping back, so you can't like run as fast as someone with an SMG when you've got your scope up. You can still relatively quick scope, but there's like you can't like run, slide, jump, 360. Well, you could. Someone out there's going to be doing it, but it's a lot harder than it was before, like with the intervention back on High Rise or something. But still, it's all speculation. I'm excited to see DMZ, and I'm excited to see Warzone. I've never been much of a Warzone player anyway, but it's made me curious at least.
It feels like they've been trying to do that across the board, though, aren't they? They're trying to nerf the annoying what a lot of people see as annoying bits of Call of Duty. Like you can't jump 20 times in a row anymore. You jump and then you jump less, and you jump less.
A stagger.
But still, people still do it. It's still annoying. It still puts off your aim. It's the reason I don't want to play it. But they've nerfed the dolphin dive, for example. It's not as arcade. It's like they're trying to move a little bit further away from the arcadey because they've noticed a lot of hardcore games are actually taking off.
Yeah. I think we're in the era of like tactical things.
Yeah,
there's a lot of tactical games coming out. Ready or Not, the Escape from Tarkov is holding one of the high torches. Several others. Call of Duty Hardcore was always good, but you were tactical in it, but it was not a tactical shooter, was it? It's always been an arcade shooter. Maybe they're changing it up now, and like I said, they're pushing away from arcadey stuff. Will they? I don't think they will, because they're known for arcadey stuff. I don't think they should change their platform too much, because that could hurt their business. But would I personally want it? Yeah, I would, 100%.
The campaign at least plays semi-realistic with how much damage you can take, at least on the difficulty setting that I'm playing it on, and
wait, you're not
how much damage. I can't actually remember. I think I put one down from the hardest, and the enemies still can take only 2 shots or 1 if you get them in the head, things like that, unless they're armored, and then you just have to empty your mag into them. But there is also a realism option that you need to complete the campaign before you unlock, so maybe that makes it so that it's much more tactical than it is.
Okay. That's interesting, because Veteran's always been a bane.
I feel like the realism option's probably going to make it so that if you hit somebody in the chest, they're dead. That's it, because if they've not got armor on.
It could be the same for you as well.
Yeah.
I remember when you played the old Call of Duties with Veteran, it's like the aim punch was the thing that was severe. You'd get shot once and the screen would just like do a 90-degree like pickup, and then you'd be like, oh, you're dead, and then you just restart and keep doing that, rinse and repeat. I wonder what realism actually adds.
Well, at least on the difficulty I've got it on, the shotguns are devastating against you. Like it kicked open a door at one point and the guy was 10 feet away and just pulled the trigger, and that was me dead.
Oh, okay.
Didn't even get to really react. You're just like, oh, and I'm dead.
I know he's there for next time.
Yep.
What's the AI been like? That's
very good.
Because I think that's very interesting, because like single player is a very controlled sort of AI environment, and if their AI is bad in that, I don't have much hopes for it being open world. But if it's very good, then you've got some sort of hopes at least, right?
The AI, from what I've experienced, are very, very good. They search for you and things like that if you've been spotted, and like it does have that. What game was it that did it? Where it goes like yellow if you've been sort of kind of spotted, but then red if they've seen you.
Yeah.
And it does that sort of warning system, which is quite cool. And you can throw a bottle to distract them and have them go look, and they look for the bottle. But then if they hear you walking near them, they will be like, oh, there's something near. Let's look for that instead. And if they don't see you straight away, they will walk towards where that sound came from and things like that. So
they'll continue looking? Or is it more like a Tarkov where they sort of run at you? It's like, oh, there he is, and then you just...
No, they'll continue in a sort of
in that
area for a little bit and look for you. And if you like throwing the bottle is the example, and they'll scout around the area a little bit before going, oh, can't find him.
It'd be cool if in the realism mode, then if they would actually then get on the radio and like say the realism is say it starts off at normal level with obviously the damage slightly tweaked, but then if you get spotted to a red, it literally raises difficult to hard veteran. Like it just gets higher and higher the more you get spotted, essentially.
They do jump on the radio or talk to each other if they're close enough, and they both go and look in sort of slightly different directions as well. So they kind of that's quite cool.
I mean, that's still hopeful for the DMZ, for
DMZ.
example, because it's going to still be sort of like a little area where they're going to operate within. I'm assuming the AI, kind of like Tarkov. You know that at Old Gas there's going to be scavs,
Yeah.
but not going to be on the bridge necessarily, if that makes sense. So they all have this sort of small area. So if they're tuned to that area properly, that should be a really good experience.
It should be. If the AI responds anything like it does in single player, it'll be really good.
Now you want me now you're making me want to like do like a stealth run and try and like get through the level and extract by distracting other mobs with bottles and stuff. Would that be a thing in DMZ? I would love that.
I'm almost certain there's probably an achievement for not firing a single shot in one or two of the levels where you have to. It's like don't break stealth until something.
Is
And
this
then-
a level with a mansion? Like a villa?
There is one with a villa
There is an achievement on that level.
for not firing a shot. Okay,
Something
need to
like
redo that.
Something
I'll
like
need
that.
to redo that.
I may have watched some achievement hunters.
There's a couple of levels later on where you have to be stealthy as well,
Hmm.
and
Oh, that's
that's where it starts. It doesn't introduce any of the crafting or anything until 4 or 5 levels in, maybe 6, and then you
Interesting.
start seeing items around.
So if we go
Which-
from talking about trying to be stealthy and crafting items and looking for items, Dark and Darker has just popped, which was, I think it popped 10 p.m. last night for us in the UK. Did any of you play it last night?
Yep.
Okay. So you
A
got
lot.
on there last night. And for anyone that doesn't know what Dark and Darker is, it's a dungeon crawler survival medieval combat game. And it is very unforgiving. The first playtest, I think they released statistics saying 90% of the players that participated died to the first mob. What happens is you usually spawn in front of, I don't know, maybe a spider or a skeleton, and you think, yeah, I'll take him. And you soon find out you probably won't take him. It's a bit tactical. You need to kind of know what you're doing. And it's one of those games, again, that you go in, you kill some mobs or other enemy players, and then you try and escape. If you don't escape, you lose all the items that you had on you, and you've got to start from scratch with beginner items again. With this, they've changed it up. They've kind of made it like it's a battle royale extraction shooter, or swinger, if you want to call it. But when to extract on this game, you either have to find a blue portal or a red portal. Now, blue is the portal that takes you back to your main menu, your stash, and you can sell your stuff to the merchants or traders. And then the red will take you to hell, which I've dubbed, and I'm sure plenty of others have. And when you go there, it's kind of like level 2. Other players can go there as well, so you could be fighting other players, but they can only get there if they survive the first level. And when you're down there, there's better loot, harder enemies, and I think there's a boss there as well. Now, you can play this either on your own, or I would definitely recommend playing with your friends. And I think it's up to 3 people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shit.
Party size up to 3.
Tell us what you got up to yesterday, or what you found about it.
I died a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty much. It's a very, very, very fucking steep learning curve. Very.
Incredible
Um,
learning curve.
My first spawn, I spawned in a room. I looked around, nothing in it. Cool. The door. Let's go. Opened the door. Walked out. Killed by a skeleton. Okay. Cool. Right. Let's go again. So I've loaded in. I'm like, right, I'm in a room again. I've opened up the door. Oh, there's now 2 archers and 2 skeletons. So I died again. So then I was like, right, let's try a third time and see what happens. Managed to survive this time. 'Cause there's nothing that spawned, around me.
On your
And
face.
then, yeah, so I managed to loot up a couple of chests, smash up a couple of boxes and the vases and stuff, just looking for bits. And then lost half my health to a trap. So then I was like, okay, right. Carried on, and I found this is the part where I hadn't, because this is the first time I played it.
Okay.
I never played it the last time round. I heard this sort of stone sound next to me. It was one of the portals coming up out of the floor.
Yep.
I was like, excellent, find my way out. I can't remember which colour's which.
Red is usually danger. No, red is usually bad. But carry on.
Yes. So I went with the red one.
Yeah, okay.
Because, smart thing to do. Ended up in, it has been dubbed hell. That's what it's been called in game this time round.
Okay.
Because essentially, out of the 4 total levels of difficulty that there are, they're all going to be a launch.
It's 4.
Yeah, we're currently in the last 2.
Oh, okay, so we're in 3 and
okay.
4.
We're in 3 and 4. Yeah.
Okay.
So
What's 1 and 2 going to be then?
hopefully, I'll be easier.
Hopefully you just fight spiders.
Yeah.
Or no one. Because I'll still
yeah.
find a way of dying by walking into traps.
Yeah. So yeah, we're in the harder ones at the moment. But yeah, I got through to the sort of end layer or level. Firstly, I'm greeted by, I'm in like a little 1x2 corridor. It's all dark, black walls. I'm right, okay. So I've walked, there's a gap in the wall to the right, so I've gone and had a look. Oh, it's just a big giant pool of lava.
Oh no.
Right, okay. Oh, there's like these little rock toadstools sticking out from the lava. Well, here comes a jump puzzle. Great fun. So jumped across that, while also pulled 2 skeletons who decided just to walk through the lava because apparently they're unaffected.
Okay.
Jumped through the doorway at the end, so I made the jump puzzle straight into a room with a heavily armored archer who just killed me in 2 shots. And I was like, right, I haven't even met any players yet. At this point, I'm like, I haven't even met any players yet. And then subsequently, the next game, I ran into a team of 3 and I got annihilated in about 5 seconds.
Yep. So there's, I don't know how many classes there are. You've got the Barbarian,
6.
which is a guy with a 2-handed weapon, and he just does a lot of damage. You've got the Warrior, or the Fighter, sorry, and he spawns with a sword and shield. You've got a Rogue, which is a little stealthy boy. You can go stealth, you can put bleeds on you guys, and you use daggers. You've got a Ranger, which is typically a bow and arrow, but you can use crossbows and things. You've got a Cleric, which is pretty much like a battle healer. Use a mace and a shield, but you can also use a staff and cast protection spells or healing spells for either yourself, damaging spells for enemies, or healing spells for your allies. A wizard, which is probably a wizard. Hopefully, I don't have to describe that one. And is there any more?
That's it.
That's it. It's just those.
Yeah, it's just 6
apparently,
classes.
Cleric is one of the hardest ones to solo, and typically that's the one that I picked.
Yeah, they've got very slow attack speed and interaction speed and stuff.
Yeah.
But then they could be the best, especially from the first playtest that I gathered. I leveled up a Cleric, and you dominate people. Like you can one-tap people with spells. So I think you start off with a spell called a Judgment. And they can just run towards you. You just put your hands together, you say some words, and they just flop over. And you're just like, oh, okay, now I deal with you. And
there is leaderboards. And I look, and it looks like I think it was a fighter that's currently seems to be the best or the highest score at least on the leaderboards. So everything's around like 4,000 to 5,000 points, as in the veteran player.
Yeah.
Whereas the fighter was at like 6,900.
Oh, wow, okay.
Or the one that was at the top was at like 6,900.
But does he have a dedicated cleric? Well, does he have 2 dedicated clerics to heal him?
Yeah.
He could have pocket healers. I'm saying it right now, for this genre of game, this is the hardest game I've ever tried to play solo.
Yeah.
It is the most unforgiving game of its genre. You can't compare it to like the Souls games or Souls-like games. But this kind of looter, swinger, survival, extraction kind of game, this is definitely the most unforgiving.
Yeah.
My first game today on this playtest, I played it a couple of hours before this show, and I spawned, looked at a box, started opening it. The box then opened with a mouth and a tongue in it, and
Turned into a mimic.
it killed me straight away. I didn't even
Yep.
open the first, because usually you spawn like in a proximity to a door, so you're kind of safe. There could be enemies on the other side of the door. There could be other players on the other side of the door. But with me, I spawned, I saw a door, I pulled a torch out, and I was like, ooh, a box. Open that box up, I'm dead. I didn't even leave the spawn.
Killed by a mimic straight away.
So you said in the
I mean-
first playtest 90% of people died to their first mob. It'd be interesting to see what percentage of that was mimic.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm definitely in that percentage. Every time I've seen a mimic, it's almost killed me. And if it's on stream, I'm usually screaming. Because this game's not meant to be scary, but
Oh,
you've
it
got all
is.
the atmospheric sounds. You can like, if you're stood still, you can hear like the clanging and banging of someone two or three rooms down fighting like 3 skeletons, and you can hear them getting hit. You can hear the skeletons dying or other players dying, and there's like a little kill feed as well at the top of the screen. And you can just see like Shifty was killed by skeleton, Fragger was killed by skeleton, Mav was killed by this, like constantly. Everyone just dies to like.
Is that in there
mobs.
right now?
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah,
I
it's
probably
on the
didn't look
top,
for it.
the top right of your
Oh,
screen.
top right.
So up
Yeah.
there,
Alright.
kind of thing.
I didn't notice that at all.
Also tells you the exit portals when they spawn as well.
It does say like a blue portal has spawned, and then it'll be like one person has survived and left, kind of thing. So you can actually gauge how many people there are left. So like sometimes
That's interesting.
when it gets to like the final circle, and it'll be like so and so dies to the wraith, so and so dies to the wraith, so and so dies to the wraith. You're like, okay, I think I'm the last team here, or I'm the last
Yeah.
person here, and then you can open a portal up, run and go and loot them, and then go and use the portal. But then the sneaky little thing that the devs have done is when the stone pops up, you can tell what kind of like extract it is by how many sides it has that like shine in that color. So like one little blue one could come up and it only has one side blue. So you're like, okay, that's a one-use portal. So if there's a team of 3 of you, only one of you can use that portal, and then the other 2 have to find another portal to get out. But they do have like a like a triangle, so it's 3
Yeah.
portals in one stone. But you all have to activate them individually, and then you all have to
Yeah.
escape. So even in like the like the loading screen tips, it'll say sometimes it's better for the enemy to open a portal and then you can sneak in. And I've done that. You see someone opening a portal, you just sneak up behind them, and before they get in there, you just take it before them, and then potentially they could be stuck. Like I've died in one of the games where I'm stuck in the room because the circle is shrinking and shrinking like a battle royale. There's no portals left in that room. But if I leave that room, I'd start taking damage. And the further toward the end of the game, the more damage you take from the outer circle. You've got to run and find a portal. You've got to then open said portal before you die. And I don't know. It's just a very interesting concept of the game.
That's what I struggled with.
It's the fighting
Um,
system that I like at the moment. Like I say I like it and I hate it because it's realistic in a way.
It's easy, but it's simple,
It
but it's
is.
complicated.
So I was playing a bit of a barbarian,
Mhm.
and it's all well and good having these big giant 2-handers that you can use. If you're in a narrow corridor,
It's the edge.
you will hit the wall 90% of the time. But not only that, most of the skeletons are all fucking right-handed, so they all have their shields on their left hand,
Mhm.
which is the direction you swing from. So it makes it very hard to apply damage to shielded targets because their shield always gets in the way and always blocks the majority of your shots.
Can you
So
switch which hand you use your weapon in?
Not that I can see at the moment. But
No.
Craigie that I played with earlier, he did say if you're fighting a shielded mob or other player, if you aim just above their head, say like just at an angle, just off like here or here, it will hit above their shield and it could hit them in the head. The whole thing
Yeah.
about blocking is you've actually got to block the direction of
Angly.
that weapon. So if the barbarian is swinging this way, you have to block, like that way kind of thing. or you have to like at least look at it because you can't move your shield to the other arm. But if someone's swinging from the left, you've got to block to the left, and it's a little bit buggy. But I'm learning things like if you're using a weapon that is better, if they're using a weapon that's better than your shield, even if you block, they're still going to put damage through. So it's kind of rewarding those people that are grinding and that are getting better weapons, but then it's still very unforgiving for the people that are on, the basic gear. I don't know how they're going to balance that, but then obviously, like Shifty said, we're on level 3 and 4. I'm very interested now on what level 1 and 2 is going to be like. I doubt it'll be a walk in the park, but it'll give you access to get a little bit better weapons.
Yeah,
Potentially.
because there is a bit of a jump. Because I mean, a lot of the gear that's spawning right now is grey, white, blue. So there does seem to be a level of gear missing in between that. I think.
Yeah.
That would really help. But
then you've also got the merchants as well. So the merchants are typically traders if you play Tarkov, and they have a stock that resets every so on, and you can buy like purple items or blue items from them. So if you're doing a raid, you're getting some jewelry and some items out of that raid, and then you sell it to the appropriate trader or merchant. Sorry, you can make some gold pretty easy. And then you can buy that gear to then boost you. But the people that are like it's definitely like it rewards the 3-mans. Because if you walk into a room and there's a 3-man, oh, you fucked. There's no chance.
I was in a room and I killed a couple of like these. There was one of the little pots that keeps summoning the spiders. So I killed the spiders. I killed the pot, and then I could hear footsteps outside. Door opened, 3 of them walked in, and I was just I couldn't do anything. I didn't have time to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, playing solo is very rough when you're coming up against groups of 3.
And
because they will just stomp over you.
Mm-hmm. I tested a cleric on standard gear, so I was essentially naked, and I loaded in. I spotted a skeleton without the shield. He just had a sword. It took me 15 hits for me to kill him. And I was aiming at the head. I don't know if there's a like a headshot multiplier. But
I think headshots do more damage.
I was hitting him in the head every single time, and it took 15 hits. He killed me in 3.
Yeah.
It's very unforgiving, and it's not just there's a skeleton, bop bop bop, he's dead, loot him, move on. No. It's if you've got 2 or 3 mobs fighting you, you're essentially fucked if you don't play it smart.
You've got
Ranger. Ranger's a class that I played.
Yep.
And to be fair, the first raid I went into was a solo.
Yep.
And if you have 1 mob at a time, or maybe even 2 if they don't have anything range or anything quick, like just a zombie or something.
Yep.
And you've got room to walk backwards, you can kite them quite easily, I found.
But when I tried the Ranger, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it took like 10 to 15 shots. It wasn't like a 5 headshot thing. So it's one skeleton's walking towards you, you've got to hit him a good chunk. And there's no indication of their health anyway.
Yeah. But it's the same with it. I think it's just... I think they've probably got the same amount of health as you do. And I think the health pool might be around 200.
Okay.
Rather than 100. Because I given someone 5 bandages, which should have helped 50. And they went from like 25% to 50%. So I'm sure it's like around 200 health.
Yeah.
So if your weapon's only doing like 12 damage, like a bow does, so you start a bow does 12 damage, it's going to take a good 9 shots to the head to essentially kill them.
Whilst making sure that no one comes from behind, like other enemies, or if you've got like an archer skeleton, because they fucking hurt. Or a wraith. As soon as I recorded one earlier, there'll probably be a clip of it. I opened a door, I saw a floaty thing with blue eyes and just went, nope, fuck that, close the door, turn the other way.
Those are fuckers. I walked into a room and I was like, oh, cool, there's a chest. As soon as I started opening the chest, they were sat on the fucking roof and they came down and dashed through me and killed me. And so make sure you check the ceilings. Cause
I got killed by one. I got killed by one. Same situation with Azzy. Opened the door, went in, and a wraith and something else was coming towards me. I was backing the fuck out, ready to close the door. I'm like, get out, get out, get out. But he just fucking wasn't reacting. He was just standing there. I was like, you need to get out there, otherwise we're gonna die. He finally reacts. I'm holding F to close the door because obviously it takes a second,
Yeah.
and they just make it through, and I'm like, well, this one's on you.
Yep. So Mav, does that game sound appealing to you?
It does. I've not tried much of the directional combat in other games like Mordhau or anything like that, so I would probably be very, very bad at this.
Very easy to pick up. It's very intuitive.
It is.
Yeah, but it sounds pretty interesting. I've not had a chance to download it and play it yet, but it's on my never-ending list.
I feel like if you enjoy the Mordhau combat system, if you don't mind a simplistic version of that, you'd get on with this game. My 10 cents or 10 pence, wherever anyone's from, is play with friends.
Yeah.
What was the quote, Frags?
What was it? Well, it's a good game though, so it doesn't really apply to this one,
Yeah.
does it?
True.
I always say a shit game with friends is better than a good game alone.
This game is like you could play for 3 hours and not survive a single raid if you're playing on your own.
Look, I remember you saying the quote saying 90% died to their first mob, and obviously this playtest is my first one. I made sure I got out. I was like, I'm not going to be the statistic. And that's the only raid I survived.
You were lucky because you obviously saw other people playing it or got a
No,
glimpse.
no. I stayed away
Didn't
from
it?
it. I honestly, I still don't understand the portals. What you just said to me that they've got different sides and more people can use it. Every portal I went to was a single use every single time.
Yeah, so the multiple use ones tend to spawn later in smaller circle.
Yeah. Like when
well,
the
that's
circle is
the
like smaller than one room.
That's the thing. We had one friend that was like a slither of health. We given him all our loot in case we don't make it out. Big brain, obviously.
Mhm.
And then finally made it through, and there was a red portal that spawned and a blue portal that spawned. And we were already on the last circle. There's no one else alive. I couldn't go anywhere. My friend used the last circle. It didn't pop back up. I couldn't go through it. It's just, I don't know. I got stuck essentially.
There would be some portals around, but obviously that circle's closed down now. So
well,
you wouldn't be able to get to it.
I mean,
Exactly.
luckily the circle itself doesn't actually do that much damage.
It doesn't, no.
It does tick, but it's more. I mean, I was playing with Tab and he said, "Yeah, the circle on this is like the pre-nerf to Super People circle." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, it kind of makes sense."
I mean, but you don't have an abundance of bandages or first aid kits
No,
or emergency
no.
kits. So,
Unless
like,
you're a cleric, then you're generally fine.
And you can't
True.
sprint.
The only way to run faster is to sheath your weapon.
Yeah, well, I think the fighter can sprint.
Yeah, but
Either
it's an
the
ability
fight-
though with a cooldown.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Has anyone? I didn't look into the first playtest. I didn't play the first playtest. What I've noticed is you've got different passives and active abilities.
Yep.
Was that the same in the first one? Was
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if any of the figures have changed, like the percentages of like buffs and nerfs and stuff like that. I don't know if they've changed anything specifically. I know they've added more different style mobs and they've added bosses to this playtest. I haven't found them because I die to chests and probably the first enemy I see. But I think they're changing a lot as much as they can within like the month between the playtests. I don't know if this is going to be a recurring thing, but I think it's an amazing thing because I played it today. I'm probably not going to be able to play it tomorrow, which means I'm already excited for the next playtest. Whereas other games, you're like, oh, that was the beta, cool. I'll wait for 6 months to play it again.
I'm pretty sure. Didn't we talk about that in the first Azzcast as well?
I think so.
That I think this way of doing it is really clever because Tarkov, for example, because it's been continuously on since alpha, people are getting bored of it before it's live.
Yeah.
Whereas this way, you've got something to look forward to every end of the month. Something changes ever so slightly. It's almost like a wipe, but you don't care about the wipe. It makes you care less about the loot. It makes you less boardy, I think, as well.
And you want to find what's new.
Yeah, it's actually really fun, and that's why I've not looked much into it and whatnot. I even the exit portal, I couldn't really find a definitive answer.
Yeah.
All I found was like 1 hour VODs of people playing the game and then mentioning it something like, "Oh, finding the portal," and it's like it's not a guide.
Yeah.
It's just people playing for an hour and eventually getting out. Genuinely. But there's also one thing they added, and I think you missed that before, and I'm not sure if you're aware of it. They've added trader guilds,
Okay.
which I think is essentially you can join a guild. I don't know this. I've not done it yet.
Okay.
It was a quick pop-up that I like looked at as I pressed OK, and I kind of realized it was probably important.
As you
But it
do.
sounds to me like it's essentially a flea market, but you have to join a trader guild,
Yeah.
and you pay them to sell your shit as well as
No,
basically
basically
flea fees.
it puts it into like a trade channel from WoW, basically, where people can just put in, oh, want to sell XYZ at whatever price. How the trade itself is facilitated, I don't know. But yeah, effectively you join the guild and then you get access to like a chat channel where you can spam away the items and whatever.
It's interesting, actually.
Is there VoIP?
No, it's coming, but it's
Oh,
not in yet.
they've confirmed VoIP.
They've said that they want VoIP, but it's not. I don't think it's the priority at the moment.
VoIP
It's
just
one of the
breeds toxicity, but I love
Yeah.
a game with VoIP in it. I
they
absolutely love
need
it.
to have a decent system in place before adding VoIP.
And I think,
Tarkov, I think, did it right.
Yeah.
Genuinely, waiting that long and making sure there's report features and automated pickups on like certain language and whatnot, they did it right. And for example, Rust, I can't remember. I don't know who I watched someone play Rust like a couple of months ago, and they're like, "Oh, let's see if VoIP works." You put it on, and you just like
all
racist
you can
slur,
hear.
racist slur. It's like, yep, that's going back off. It's like
Mhm.
because there's no filters, there's no
Yeah.
reporting someone and having them off that or getting permanently banned even.
I ate my words with Tarkov. When Tarkov produced VoIP, I said, all we're going to get is toxicity and racism and, stuff that you don't want to hear when you're playing a game. And I ate my own words. First raid, I met two lovely blokes. I teamed up with them. I helped them do some of their tasks, and we went our separate ways. And it was hilarious because it was something brand new.
That's because they did it right.
Yeah,
they had the fear factor in before it became a problem. If that makes sense, they were like, if you're going to be this kind of person, you will be banned off VoIP and eventually permanently banned. And people don't want that.
No.
And it did also essentially open up to being from like the toxicity wasn't there, but it was always I'm friendly, and shoot you in the face anyway.
Yeah.
So
those fuckers. We don't want to talk about those.
When toxicity became betrayal.
Yeah. But I think VoIP in Dark and Darker would be amazing.
Well, that's the thing. When I played with my two friends before, because I got like an hour to play a little bit, and I joined with them. And it was just this. I think it was like a wizard or something came up. He's like bopping up and down. It's like, oh, he's friendly. I just see my rogue friend behind him. No, my rogue friend behind him. I don't give a shit. Just tapping him in the back of the head.
So you're playing with those kind of people. Okay.
Well, this is it. I walked into a room and there was a guy who was being chased by 3 skeletons. So I went over to the back and started attacking the back one. So I was away from him, didn't accidentally hit him or anything. He killed that skeleton. I killed the skeleton I was fighting then. Then he just killed me. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess we're not doing the friendly thing then.
Yeah.
Okay, next time I see you.
Yeah, that's all right. Fine.
So, it's probably not the good time to change topic, but toxicity and Overwatch.
Oh, they go hand in hand.
Yeah, so who's played Overwatch? Well, Overwatch 2, obviously, the one that's recently come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've dipped in and out.
How have you found the toxicity in that? With VoIP being in the game.
Don't have it turned on.
I don't have it turned on.
Any reason?
Big brain.
Yeah, because I don't need to listen to somebody else sat there on a Farah going, oh, do this, do that, when they're just sat on a Farah.
Yeah.
How did you sound like
Well,
them, Shifty?
for me, it's the Genji that's on the enemy spawn complaining at the Moira me that I'm not healing and I'm doing too much damage while I'm there solo on the robot because everyone had fucking disappeared and I'm not healing the guy that's half a mile away from me into enemy territory.
And this is in unranked as well, isn't it? Or is this in competitive?
I don't play unranked. Fuck unranked. That's fucking horrendous. I
Is
only
that
play
even
ranked.
worse?
Yeah. Having that said though, VoIP wise, it's not been too bad. It's been the occasional VoIP warrior, let's call him.
Yeah.
Voice warrior. It's not keyboard warrior. But because I kind of stopped Overwatch 1 in Season 2 quite early on, or Season 3, I think I played a little bit. And then coming back and really enjoying myself with a couple of friends,
Mhm.
you had that old toxicity that I'm not used to. You'd get the people that write different tank, or tank difference,
Yeah.
or DD different.
I've noticed that.
They'll blame a group, and it's like,
Yeah.
dude, like
So just
a lot of times I've been blamed for not healing, but I'd get killed because no one was protecting me.
yeah.
I'd make my way back, and on my way back, they'd all die because there was no healer left,
Yeah,
and
they're
then I'd
still
be at
pushing.
fault. And I'm like, well, why are you not healing? It's because, again, I'm half a fucking mile away.
Yeah.
Well,
So describe that thing you just said to a boomer then. What's a tank diff? Because I've seen that on the game. And I don't necessarily know what it means.
So whoever loses will
Mhm.
say tank difference, DD difference, or healer difference. And it basically means our tank was better, and that basically carried the game in that way.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean,
Because you'll look at the
that's what I was
tanks, you'll
saying,
have...
right? That team won, so obviously they were a better team.
Yeah, but that's the healer or the damage dealer putting blame on someone else.
Yeah,
He didn't
it's an
lose as a team. He lost the game,
Yeah.
and I was on that team.
All right,
it's
so
a way
it's
of
you
apportioning blame to a specific
So
person rather than.
we're all on a team. Fragger, you be the tank. If we lose, I would say tank diff.
Yeah.
Yep.
You would
so then
only
everyone
say
else
that, though.
saying,
Yeah, you would only say
it
that
was
though
your
if
fault.
I've got... Yeah, if say I'm a tank and we've played 3 full rounds of something in competitive, and I've got 3,000 damage, whereas the opposing tank's got 6,000 damage,
Mhm.
and all the damage dealers are roughly the same,
Yeah,
I'm the weakest link. But rather than being like, oh, GG, whatever,
yeah.
it just gets really toxic.
I've
The
noticed.
obsession of winning is still too high in that game, in my opinion.
Even in
However,
unranked.
though, I've heard that if you report people for saying easy, even,
Oh, really?
yeah, they're really trying to just stop that, and
Okay.
you do get bans on that apparently.
Yeah, they
Mine-
like during Overwatch 1, they stopped you being able to say GGEZ, and it would just not send.
I've seen it say like say Mavi on the other team. It would be like Mav has a potty mouth, or is saying bad words. It would like
Yeah,
it would
filter it.
filter it through.
Vanity filter.
Yeah. Even though I've tried turning it off and on, sometimes I'm like, what are they trying to say?
I
They
want
say-
to
They must be
know.
saying something bad. Are they talking about me?
Yeah.
Bruh, I'm new to this game. Like, I remember
It's
my
like-
first ranked, and it was just like easy win. And I've gone on their profiles, and they've got like thousands of hours.
Yeah.
And all like hundreds of difference compared to me on Overwatch 2. And I'm like, okay, these people are real toxic. And I
Yep.
don't really know
Yeah.
how the rank system works. I know you have to play games to get placement.
Yep.
But it's kind of weird. It's not like... I can't even think of an example of another game that you do this. But you do 10 games. Like Valorant, for an example. You do 10 games and it would track like, oh, you won this game, you lost this game, you won this game. On Overwatch, it only counts if I win. If that makes I don't know if that's
Yes.
bugged or...
There's no elo system. That's the issue. Well, not the issue. I quite like it. It's very fucking simple, straightforward. Every 7 games you win, you get a rank up. Every 20 games you draw or lose, you get a rank down. They don't track the losses and draws, which I think is also good.
Okay.
But you just see your progress of going up. But then sometimes you're like, hang on, that was fucking silver 1 yesterday. Why am I silver 3 now? Because you just had your 20th loss and you rage quit and went off the game, kind of thing.
Do you mean
So
so if I played 19 games, my next game is the one that counts?
No. If you win, lose, say you win 5 games
Yeah.
and you lose 15 games, you go down a rank.
Okay.
However, if you then win the next 2 games, you go a rank up. It literally just it just resets itself. So you got 7 wins, you go up. You got 20 losses, you go down.
Okay.
So you could literally go up and then straight down if you win and then lose.
Yeah.
You could lose, But I like that it's almost 3 times the difference essentially.
Yeah.
So you could, if you win, lose, essentially you'll go up 3 times, go down 1.
Okay.
and eventually it'll take you longer to get to
You'll
right to the
still
top.
climb.
Yeah. Whereas a lot of games, like Elo-based games and Valorant, Counter-Strike, all that, they can be completely random. You'll be like, say, third highest rank, and you'll play against a full team of the highest rank, and
Mhm.
nothing will change. But then the next game you'll play against people below you, and suddenly you rank up, and it's like, that makes fucking no sense.
Yeah, that's strange. Because I haven't played Counter Strike for years. But then you've got like super people. They've got it pretty simple. Depending on what rank you are, it's all on the position that you finish the game and the amount of kills, or like the amount you've put into that game. And then when you get to
Yeah.
high levels, you only have a certain cap of your elo per se. So when you're in like the legendary or whatever class it is, you can only have maximum of 50 points positive, but then the negative is uncapped, and you could win the game with 10 kills. You get 50 points. I quite like that system, but I don't know how easy it is to put that into a game like Overwatch.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with Elo is, I feel like either they hide the Elo or you can manipulate it.
Yeah,
If you know what gives you extra points, you can not play the objective or just play a certain type of objective.
yeah,
Like, for example, if you know in Counter-Strike, killing 2 people at the end and defusing the bomb gives you more points.
yeah. You just
People
bait it
might
out.
people might risk it to let someone plant
Yeah,
Yep.
and
just to
then
get
go
those
for the
extra
retake,
points. Yeah,
rather than having the chance of staying on the bomb and killing the people one by one,
yeah.
Yep.
which would be the logical thing to do. But the other
Very
way gives you
true.
more points.
Very true.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's the way it is, but
Yeah.
you could make it look more heroic to a computer that way,
Yeah,
Yeah.
when really it isn't.
it's a good point. It's a good point.
Whereas Overwatch is just fucking simple. You win 7, you go up. You lose 20, or draw 20, you go down. Simple.
Yeah, it's
And because you don't
trying to
see
wrap
your
my head
losses
around
and
it.
draws, you don't get fixated to it. It's like, oh, if I lose this, I'm gonna fucking go down. You just
Yeah.
play,
Okay.
and you see every time you win, it's like, oh yeah, great. And
Right,
you don't
okay.
even realize you've ranked down until you rank back up.
Right, okay, yeah. Now it makes more sense.
I mean, you see it, but you don't notice it. You don't.
And there's a big competitive scene on Overwatch, isn't there? And they've changed it from Overwatch 1 because it was 6 members on a team, wasn't it? In Overwatch
Yeah.
1. It was like
Yeah.
2 tanks, 2 damage, and 2 healer.
To heal.
Yeah,
Whereas now it's 5.
I love that.
So it's what, one tank, 2 damage, and 2 healers.
Or you can. I think you can play the old V6v6,
But you
but
can.
also you can play. You can also play open queue, so you can select whatever.
Yeah, you can be.
You could have 5
tanks.
tanks. Yeah.
That's what I started on. I was like, what the fuck is this? I'm sat here with Reaper and I'm going against like a Diva, a Reinhardt, and a Roadhog or something. But
Yep.
I like the role queues, I really do, but I feel that the role queues have more toxic people. And
Yep.
my experience on Overwatch, I just like playing it. I enjoy it. I'm nothing special, but I guarantee you every game there's someone telling me how to do my job. Even though I've probably done more kills, more damage, or more damage mitigated, or more heal, there's someone, usually a Farah or Farah, telling me what to do. Or
Yep.
someone's having a go at me because I got play of the game. Sorry. Oh, you pressed a button, you got play a game? I didn't choose it. The game, it was just the game's coding or something's happened and they've gone, oh, he's got more than 2 kills in a couple of seconds. We'll give it to him. It's not like I was sat there like, please give it to me.
The worst is when you have the Hanzo or the Genji with like super low damage, and they're like putting blame on other people. I'm sorry, if either you're really good at Hanzo or Genji, or you're playing the wrong class. If you're playing Genji with 1,000 DPS at the end of the game, maybe play him not in ranked to learn him. Like,
see, my experience.
But I don't tell people that. I just let them get on with it.
Oh yeah, that's something you keep to yourself.
Yeah.
Whereas I see a lot of people in Overwatch in the community is like, "Oi, Genji, rethink your life choices," kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas I always feel that if someone on their team plays a Genji, someone on the enemy team has a Genji, and that Genji's bad, we win.
Yeah.
If I play against an enemy Genji and he's good, we lose. I don't know why. It just feels like anytime there's a good Genji, he's the thing that tips it over, or he's the one that would make the team win. Even though it's probably not him and it is definitely a joint effort, it's just someone I've always noticed. If I see a Genji and I just kill him every time, we win.
That's
Same with
because,
Tracer, I feel like.
yeah.
I haven't
I mean-
seen good Tracers this time. I remember the first time I played Overwatch 1, and Tracer was like crazy. Like, you'd see someone come in a room, shoot a few times, zip, zap, and dodge everywhere, and then, like, recall back to, like, outside the room. He's just done a ton of damage. Whereas now, I'm like, oh, it's a Tracer, Bob. I don't, but I'm not playing competitive, so I'm not really going against, high-ranked people. My experience is Pharah, Soldier, Roadhog, and Moira. They're pretty much the main things I see.
Yeah, not on competitive.
No,
At least not.
just in
It's
standard.
not where I'm standing at.
Yeah, the switch to 5, just sort of going back a little bit, kind
Yeah.
of somewhat screwed the tank. That I used to pretty much play Diva almost exclusively, and it somewhat screws her if there can only be one tank, because realistically, Diva's not a tank. She's
Yeah.
not chonky enough to be able to take
She's a
a
bruiser.
lot of damage. Yeah, she's a bruiser. She can,
Mm.
and an annoyance. She can do a lot of damage, but she can't take sustained fire.
She's not a Roadhog or she's not a Reinhardt.
No. And
Her right click is powerful though.
it is, but it
Yeah,
wears out very quickly.
Yeah.
Very quickly. And
is it
once
quicker
that's
compared
gone,
to
you're
Overwatch 1?
defenseless. Sorry?
Is her right click quicker than Overwatch 1, or is it just
I
in
think
general?
I think it's probably just the
hasn't
same.
changed. It's the same. Yeah.
I think it might last a little bit longer.
But it's still,
Maybe.
as soon as that's gone and it starts to have to recharge, you're defenseless. And
Yeah.
you're just going to get blown away in seconds.
I mean, when you compare it to Reinhardt, who can just hold his right click, he has a giant shield out in front of him, and that just sits there for as long as he wants.
Yep.
Yeah,
Whereas
but if
Diva's is
that
like-
breaks, he's a long time without a shield, isn't he? He becomes useless.
Yeah, but
Whereas her right click is available again after a couple of seconds.
Yeah, but
Couple of
Reinhardt's
seconds,
shield
but-
lasts for a long time.
Reinhardt's shield lasts indefinitely until it breaks, whereas hers is timed. So if you don't time it just right and be able to sort of keep it from going all the way out, you're gone in seconds.
I mean, I played Diva a couple of times, going up against what's that robot called again? The tank?
Orisa.
Bastion.
No, Bastion. That's the one. And Bastion, like if he goes into tank form with his Gatling gun, he destroys
Yes.
Diva.
Yep.
However, that's where Diva becomes strong, because if you turn around and press right click, you'll stop all that. Whereas a Reinhardt will probably lose his shield and then still die.
Shifty's
So-
shaking his head then.
I was always a Diva main. She's not the best tank, but she's a very good character that if you play right, can, with enough support, be good enough of a tank. I mean, she's being massively nerfed. A lot of people are really complaining about her at the moment because she's able to deal that much damage at the same time as nullify damage, essentially, for a short period of time. I think she's very good at the moment.
She is, but she needs either a support tank or a very strong healer, and needs the healer basically in her pocket the whole time. Because she's got the health pool to absorb a lot of incoming damage if she can get sustained healing. But if there's no healing, she just gets shredded in literally seconds.
Shifty, we're shaking your head then. What was you going to say? Was it about the Bastion and Diva?
Yeah, just Bastion's just an asshole in general. His rockets are just a pain, doesn't matter what character you're on.
I don't
He
Rank
was
was
actually-
nicer.
He was actually disabled for a while because he was broken because of the rockets.
On Overwatch 1 or?
No,
Overwatch
Overwatch 2, like last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't see I don't see Bastion players.
There was, I think there was
He wasn't turned on. He was turned off.
No, I think in casual he was, but in ranked he was definitely turned off. And I think there was a bug that if you made the game lag or it lagged for some reason and you used your ulti, you could use it indefinitely, which is essentially a mortar strike.
Yeah. Handy.
And he is very annoying. I preferred ranked without him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this a game you you enjoy playing for like prolonged periods of time, or is it a game you enjoy picking up and putting down?
I personally, I look forward to playing that particular game every night at the moment.
Okay.
Genuinely. As a matter of fact, if I open Battle.net and go in there, I can tell you how many hours I've had since launch, essentially.
Battle.net can do that. I didn't know that.
Well, no, I can go into the game and
Okay. It's very much a game that if you're playing it yourself, though, it's not fun, which goes back to what Bragger said earlier.
yeah.
Like,
Um,
if on it's a good game, but on your own, it gets tiring very quickly, and you don't want to keep going after more than 2, 3, 4 rounds at a push.
Okay.
But if you've got friends, you could play all night and just
definitely.
that'd be it.
I was playing the game mainly as at least a duo, and I was having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We kind of had to talk about who's going to play what because a lot of times we'd queue as any role.
Yep.
But then the issue would be we'd both always get healer.
Yeah.
So we always had to, or if we played 3 of us, I'd sometimes get tank, and I fucking don't like playing tank essentially. But sorry, just to go back to it. So in the last week and a half, maybe of playing this, maybe 2 weeks, I've got 67 hours, 40 of which are competitive.
And that's after your full-time job in the evenings.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good amount of
So
hours.
I've put a lot of time into it very recently, but I've also got friends that are playing it with me, which make it fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Yesterday I played solos a lot because they were playing doing something else or playing something else. It's just it wasn't as great. You had more toxic people. I feel like.
That's all I've had from it. I really enjoy the game, but it's a very toxic environment, which is a shame. Definitely a shame, but it is what it is sometimes.
It is what it
Yeah.
is.
It is.
I mean, if the game stays healthy with the amount of players, because let's be real, searching for just damage dealer.
Because
essentially-
like 7 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, essentially they've kind of split the player base a little bit, which is a little bit annoying. Where you've got the any heroes amount of heroes, and you've got the select role queue.
Yep.
So they
Yeah.
kind of split that already. But if you're waiting 7 minutes on just damage dealer on the select role, that's not bad. That's honestly not bad.
I mean, you can think about it in like MMOs and stuff. If you're queuing for a healer or a tank, or as a healer or a tank, you will respectively get them quicker.
Yeah.
So I think, like you said, 7 to 10 minutes. I think if it's competitive, I think it's pretty respectable. You look at
Oh yeah,
Apex Predators or the people that are at the top of the game, especially I think it was this season or the last season of Apex, people were waiting like 20 minutes. You'd see streamers sat there queuing for a game, but then they'd have like another game on top of that they play whilst waiting.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I think that way is pretty good. As long as they
to
keep the
put it
numbers up.
to put it into World of Warcraft perspective, if you queue as a damage dealer on a dungeon or a raid or anything like raid finder rather than just a normal raid, you're still looking at like 20 minutes ish.
Yeah,
And that's
Final
like-
Fantasy 14 did similar, where
Yeah.
like if you were queuing as a DD, you could literally be sitting waiting for a dungeon for 40 minutes
Yeah.
before you could get in. But tank, you're in straight away.
Hmm.
Healer, you're in straight away.
It's always going
And
to be
I
like
thought
that, though, to be fair.
I think on average, like DD 7 minutes, tank is about 5 minutes because obviously you've only got one per server essentially.
Yeah.
But healer, if me and my friend play and we go as any, we find a game within 10 seconds. We're like, oh well, I guess we're playing heal.
Yeah.
Genuinely, and every time we are heal.
Yeah.
I don't like that per se.
Mhm.
I wish they had it a little bit more fair, where it's like, oh, you queued 10 games in a row as everything, and you went in as healer.
Here's
Well,
a
you're now
fast
in a
track.
priority queue of a damage dealer. Here's a priority queue for a tank.
Yeah.
You've done
Just
your
to
daily.
spice it up.
You've done your daily of doing heals.
Yeah,
Come on, have
'cause
some fun now.
You literally have weeklies of queue as everything,
Mhm.
10 games and win, and then you've got you've got a weekly of win 10 games as a different role twice.
Yeah.
So you need to win 10 games as a tank and 10 games as a DD or healer, vice versa. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've done my healer, and I now specifically have to queue as a damage dealer to get that done, because my open one didn't give me a chance to.
Yeah.
That's annoying.
So Overwatch, pretty fun. Can be toxic, but as long as you're playing with friends, you can kind of avoid that toxicity. Before we get on to the last topic, being New World, something that we've done in this community is we've all band together and we've done something for Stoptober. So, come on, let's do the thing. It is, I just looked at the date and I didn't even retract it in my brain.
29th.
It's the 29th. And we've all done something we've kind of made our own like version of Lent, basically. Or try and give something up, or stay away from something. So myself and Tara have Tara. How long have we been sober? Okay, so we have been doing it for 1 month and 10 days. So we haven't touched a drop of alcohol. And we're going to continue doing it. We're just going to keep doing it. We feel better. We feel healthier. And the community around the stream have sat down and gone, you know what, I'm going to do the same. And there's a lot of people that have given up alcohol, or they've given up smoking for a month. And a lot of people have felt the benefits of it. And I think the mods here, I think we all did something together. Shifty, did you do something?
Did until today.
Till the 29th? Okay, so what did you give up?
I was trying to give up my stupid, staying awake for 2 days and not sleeping. So I actually try and get to some sort of normality on my sleeping schedule.
I mean, to be fair, you've done very well considering what you
Yeah.
usually like. And I'm probably going to say it was because of... don't you dare say it was because of Tarkov event.
The dark and darker.
Oh, it was Dark and Darker. I was going to go with New World, to be fair.
No, it was dark and darker.
I don't know why, I just thought he's stayed up, he's played with the Americans all night on Tarkov. But no, Dark and Darker, I can understand
Dark
that.
and Darker.
That's the 29th. Have you felt any better at all this month? With a bit more sleep or a bit more stable?
It's been interesting. I've had a lot less free time.
Fair, all right.
But no,
because this is meant to be a positive thing. Fragger, did you do anything?
I mean, I quit energy drinks for a month.
29 days.
No, I'll be totally honest. I quit energy drinks, and I went cold turkey on it, and chocolate. No, like you can slowly pop it down. I decided when the community's like, oh, I'll quit smoking, I'll stop that, and I was like, I don't smoke, I don't drink. What can I stop? And I was like, oh, I'll stop energy drinks and chocolate.
Yeah.
And I got a decent part way through the month without chocolate and that energy drink, but it felt worse. If it was the first week of feeling tired and whatnot, I can understand that because your body's getting used to no caffeine.
Yeah.
Because I don't drink coffee, I don't drink tea. That's my only source of
Caffeine.
energy drink, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
I was just couldn't stay awake. I felt terrible, honestly, and I'd wake up tired. It was really bizarre.
Okay.
But I feel like since I've started drinking them again, I've been sleeping better. I've been feeling better. So that was more of a conscious choice of I want to continue that. Whereas chocolate, I've gone down to once a week now, which is just a Friday night,
Like
maybe
once
Saturday.
A week, like a whole tub of Quality Street, or
2.5.
Okay, no, that's fair.
Well, no, genuinely, if I buy something, maybe on Saturday I'll have the rest of what's left, essentially. Be like a bag of minstrels or anything sort of, snacky that you can have while eating, playing.
A bag like that you can have very easy without even realizing.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't even say like I'm not a snacker with like for an example, the bag of minstrels or I don't know, buttons, like the big bag of buttons.
Yeah.
My thing's biscuits. I'm a fiend for biscuits. And to be fair, you said that how much you used to eat with like the chocolate and stuff, and how much you
chocolate I used to have every evening, almost every evening. So cutting it down to a week is massive. However, I'm also even that I'm trying to cut down because I'm back on the energy drink. But I'll tell you why. I felt worse with without having some sort of caffeine in me.
Understandable.
But I was replacing it with Lipton iced tea, peach.
Okay.
And I checked the sugar amount. No, it's not.
Worse.
No,
I checked
nice.
I checked the sugar amount, and it was the same as my energy drink, and I'm like, why? Yeah. And honestly, Relentless Origin isn't that bad. My dad came in the other week with was it a Monster Juiced?
Yep, the purple
and
one.
I checked on that.
I have issues.
And it had like four times as much sugar.
Yeah.
So honestly, like this is like what 3.4 per 100 mil, which isn't great, but that's like probably a cup of coffee or something that other people have. So I'm justifying it that way myself.
Yeah.
It could be worse.
Or
Well,
5 cups.
I'm happy where I'm at with that intake, if that makes
No,
sense.
and well done. Honestly, well done. And
Um,
I will say something after. Mav?
genuinely,
Oh, go on.
genuinely, if I didn't feel like crap
Yeah, you
and
would
so
have.
tired every time, I would have continued.
Yeah, this wasn't like a compulsory thing. Like me and Tara
Yeah.
wanted to do it for our health reasons and to try and feel better. And it was just an amazing thing that the community decided to jump on with, and then you guys as the mod team kind of jumped on too. So I do really appreciate it. Mav, did you do anything?
I bucked the stereotype of the typical Scotsman and actually gave up alcohol. I actually had COVID just before the start of September, so it's probably been a little bit longer than a month now
Yep.
since I've touched it. But we used to have what we called Wine Wednesdays, where we'd split a bottle of wine on a Wednesday, and then that would be probably about as much as I would normally drink throughout a week, to be
Yeah.
honest. Maybe a cider or something on a weekend, and that was about it. So I wasn't as bad as I used to be, but I've not missed it.
No?
I've sort of missed the act of sitting
Like
and
the Wine Wednesday, like having
Yeah,
time
the-
together kind of thing.
yeah, because we'd have the bottle of wine and sit and talk about how the week's been going so far and how we're celebrating being over the hump of the week, shall we say,
Yep.
closer to the weekend. But the actual alcohol itself, I could give or take. Like will I keep off it after this? For the most part, probably. But I
Yeah.
might still have the odd Wednesday, like this Wednesday, for example. The missus has a uni thing, and we'll be celebrating after that because it's the end
Yeah.
of the course. So it will probably be like half a bottle of prosecco each,
Mhm.
and that will be it. It's not like we used to be, where it would be right 3 liters of cider and then we go out.
Yeah.
That it's
Prees? What a prees.
yeah.
It's what,
Yeah,
what
so
did
this-
I saw it. It's pre me, calling a taxi to go home or go back home. I can't pre-drink nowadays. Not a chance.
No,
not,
not
a
a
chance.
chance. Not a chance. But back in the day, yeah, it would be somewhere between 3 and 6 liters of cider before going out to a club. If you asked me to drink 3 liters of cider nowadays, I'd be on the floor.
Yeah. Like, what me and Tara do is like, we usually have like a specific meal in the week, and that would be like our time.
Yeah.
Even though we eat together every night anyway, but it would be like like a talking meal basically.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Wine Wednesdays, we do like a cheese board or something.
Yeah.
She'd talk and I'd be a goblin devouring everything that she's just put in front of me. Or tacos, or we do like some sort of like Mexican night. We'll have like different. It's always like picking foods and stuff. I'm a child. I just get stupidly excitable, and it's just real good food, and it's just a real nice meal that we can like sit and just enjoy together. But on that, to finish it up, everyone that has taken part in some sort of Stoptober, I said it on stream several times. I hope no one felt forced like they had to do this. But me and Tara, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for joining us and helping us, supporting us, and even doing it yourself. If you felt better or if you felt worse, apologies. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it, or you guys enjoyed something about it, or learned something new about yourself. And just honestly, thank you so much for doing that. With the last topic,
And I just
go on.
one more thing. I mean, while we're all talking about food and whatnot,
We could talk about this for hours.
Yeah.
no,
Usually
it's
food.
This is the big subject for a lot of us.
Is this
well.
us?
What I was gonna say is, I mean, obviously, a lot of other people, if they want to, have a partner and they want to cook together and eat food together. I'm not sure if you want to cut this part out. Feel free to. But
I'm wondering where you go with it, to be honest.
Yeah, you're more than welcome to use the HelloFresh code from Azzy, I suppose,
You could.
if you wanted to.
could.
It's a great deal.
We are
I
sponsored
can't
by
actually-
HelloFresh right now, so all the information will be down in the description. It will give you 50% off your first order. And if you do enjoy it, it gives you another percentage off after that for the next 2 orders. Myself and Tara, we are massive foodies, and we ordered one, the exact same thing as what everyone else is, privy to, and we really enjoyed it. Really nice quality food. We kind of enjoyed it together. I say enjoyed it. I enjoyed it because we were reading instructions like put in this set amount, this set amount, this set amount, then do this. Tara is an absolute amazing chef or person in a kitchen, but she's the kind of person that would be like, oh, I'll just add a touch of this. Oh, I'll just put this in. Oh, I'll just put a clump of cheese in, kind of thing. Whereas a piece of paper telling her to put a specific amount in did get on her nerves, but it was a good funny point in the evening. But the food itself is fantastic. The instructions are very simple to follow, and everything comes for you. Every single thing you need for that meal will be in that package for you, and just check it out. All the information is in the description below. New World.
New World.
I'm hooked, right? I have an issue. It's like a job in a job, okay? Have you guys thought about returning to the New World Fresh servers, which launch on the 2nd of November? We spoke about this in the last Azzcast, and I was like, yeah, maybe. No, I'm back. I'm back. All right? That I breathe and dream about New World at the moment, and it's an issue. Have any of you tried it lately, or thinking or holding out to come back to the Fresh servers?
100% holding out for the Fresh servers on the 2nd. Haven't
Yep.
touched it since a month, maybe 2, 3 after launch.
Okay, so last year.
Last year, yeah. Thought about kicking it up again and having a look. Actually was going to do it today, but decided to play Modern Warfare instead. Was going to open it up and have a look and see if I could go to Brimstone Sands and stuff, but I think I'm going to save it for Wednesday.
Okay.
Shift. Absolutely.
Oh, Frags.
No, go on, Shift.
Yeah, I logged back in. One of my characters has been moved to another server that I didn't want it to be on because it's been a while since I played. So I was like, fuck it. Deleted the characters I had, started a new one. I thought, you know what, I'll have a look and see what's going on now, and just have a ball and go through it. And it's nice, it's enjoyable. Everything's flowed nicely. Trying out the blunderbuss, it's quite fun because I never got to do that the first time around.
Yes, since I played, the blunderbuss and the greatsword came into play.
So I'm running both of those at the moment, and it's good fun. But yeah, I mean, I haven't gone too hardcore on it. I've just been doing bits and pieces here and there, just looking to see what has changed, so that when I go into the live servers, then I'll know what's going on. I know what I'm sort of looking for.
Yep.
Does the new player experience feel less clunky than it did? Because it felt really kind of like here's you have to try skinning, right?
Yeah.
Cool. How do I do that?
It's a lot. I mean, the very initial part is still the same, like where you get into where the captain is, and go gather some flint, go gather some wood and shit. That's all still the same. But just when you get out of that section, it becomes a bit more linear, and it flows nicely. It takes you from point A to point B. You'll do your quest there, and where you're finishing up and handing in that quest, 15, 20 meters down the road is another quest, and you just go down there. It's a lot more guided, but you can obviously still do it in whatever order you want.
Yeah.
But the biggest change that I've noticed, you don't actually pick a faction now till like level 23, 24.
Okay.
Like that's been bumped way further down the line.
Yeah.
Now obviously, I think that's about the earliest I noticed it. I don't know if you can get to it any earlier, because obviously it's going to affect joining companies and stuff. So I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work. Like what the lowest level is you can get to it. If it is going to be 23, 24, I mean, that's still only going to be 4 or 5 hours of playing. It's not going to be, to anything too much longer than that if you put your mind to it.
They've made it a lot easier to level up and stuff now, haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
So I remember the day of launch of New World, I did 28-hour stream, something stupid, and I didn't get that far to 60. I think I got to like maybe 20s, maybe. That was 28 hours of
You
me
would breeze past that right now.
grinding and the excitable. Oh, a tree. Oh, a goat. Oh, a boar. Oh, I'm gonna cook this. I'm gonna do this. I absolutely loved that. It's a game for ADHD, basically. What I've been told now by a lot of players that have redone the new player experience, or just streamers that know their stuff, Danny, they have told me that the record at the moment for someone min-maxing, doing the absolute best they can for traveling A to B and doing all the quests and doing them in particular orders, the record at the moment is 18 hours. So to get 1 to 60 is 18 hours. So if you think about my last stream, I could have got to endgame and started grinding my gear scores in the first stream.
Yeah.
And so that definitely, I think that's very appealing, because in MMOs there's always that whole stigma of you playing with your friends, but then your friends maybe leaving you behind, or you getting stuck behind the server because you're just not progressing fast enough. Whereas now it's kind of like, oh, the 1 to 60 is, the intro to the game. And then after the intro, that's when the game actually starts, the gear score grinding. And I think the changes that they've made in the last year with like the watermark or the gear score system is absolutely amazing. So before I came back last week, I remember the gear score being a figure in your brain or on a spreadsheet. And it was, oh, we're going to do some Shattered Mountain chest runs. My chest is hang on, let me just check my spreadsheet. My chest, I think, is between 520 and 530 kind of thing. And that watermark is a number that basically dictates the type of armor that drops for you, or the type of gear that drops for you. The higher the number, the better the gear. Now, when I played, the cap was 600. But again, that figure was just, I think it's around this number. Whereas nowadays, you just hit your inventory button. All the numbers are beautifully laid out right in front of you. I can go, oh, my head item is 592. And I need to gain expertise to improve those. And there's now so many ways and so many, like, several different avenues you can go down to improve your gear score to help catch up. Because I'm typically a year behind right now. I haven't played this character for a year. How long do I have to play to catch up to be able to play with the people that haven't had those breaks? And
Yep.
I've played for 5 days, and I'm catching up. Obviously, everyone that's played for a year has got all of their armor, all of their guns, everything to top-notch max. Whereas I've almost got my kit, like the one individual kit, to almost max, so I can play with them. And I just feel like that's such a huge quality of life aspect. They brought music in. You can play Guitar Hero in the middle of Everfall. I cannot wait for that. There's things like, the higher your music skill, it gives you buffs. Some buffs are like territorial bonuses. So like your faction or your reputation with that town will increase faster. You've got being able to gather faster. If I had that when I was slogging away trying to get login to 200 back in the day, that would have made, obviously it'd still be hard, but it would have made my life so much easier. And I think sometimes it's like a 75% increase. That's huge. Do you know how many hours I spent cutting trees? Just sitting there, cutting trees. So I just think a lot of the work they've done is amazing. Obviously, I've missed a lot and I'm catching up still, but a lot of the work the New Order's done to try and regain ground, like regain their footing again, I guess, is huge. And I'm calling this New World Launch 2.0. These fresh servers.
It was necessary, though, wasn't it? So, with saying that you can now choose a faction later on, it's because they fucking finally got quests in the game.
Yeah.
I'm not being funny. I was getting so tired of doing my 3 town quests or whatever, and my 3 faction quests, and going out and going back and going out and going back. And he's like, oh, let's mash it up and go to the next zone. But that next zone's got a massive mountain where you keep having to run around. Or I'll fucking go back to Overwatch. Because I only had to walk 1 kilometer rather than 2 kilometers. It was so monotone, boring. I mean, you said people Yeah, people make, as you said, max level in 18 hours. I tried so hard not to hit max level back in the day, and I've actually just looked on Steam. Last time I played this game was February the 18th.
Mhm.
And I have 260 hours, and I quit the day after I hit 60.
Yeah, like we spoke about it on stream, and I never felt out of love with the game. I just ran out of content.
Yeah.
Yep.
It got to the point that I woke up and I was like, I don't think I can do another chess run. And
Well, that's
hats
the
off to
annoying
people
bit.
that did.
That's the annoying bit, though. Like, they had to change the new player experience. Because I think I went through it yesterday, didn't I, with the achievement tractor? 18%, something like that, made it to level 60.
Yeah, that's mad.
Only, like, I think, was it 40% made it to 30?
Yeah.
And 29 to 50. So even between 50 and 60, they still lost a big chunk of players.
Hmm.
Which,
Yep.
talking percentage, they had over 1 million players. That's a lot of fucking people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was no end content, and they should have just listened. Everything they changed, or 90% of things they changed, is what the community's been saying in the first beta, in the first playtest, and then in the beta, and then early launch. No, it needs to be this way, it needs to be that way, it needs to be this way. Suddenly the numbers went down. It's like, oh, maybe we should change something. Same with WoW right now, right? They're like, oh yeah, maybe we haven't got many subs, maybe we should change something. If they just taken the initiative to change these things back when they had 1 million players, even 800,000 players, even fucking 100,000 players,
Mm-hmm.
it would be a lot more healthy than it is now. And the only worry I have is, remember that when the launch happened and they didn't have enough servers?
Yep.
Because everyone suddenly bought the game before the day of launch.
Yep.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, we didn't expect this. I'm kind of expecting a little bit the same with the new servers now. I was like, oh, didn't expect
Yeah.
this. You got 1 million copies sold. Expect at least 10% to come back.
Yeah,
At
yeah.
least.
At least.
I am a bit worried on that because for Europe alone, they've released 4 servers.
Yeah. There's 2,500. That's 10,000 people.
Yeah.
In the last 2 months, the concurrent player went from about 25, 30 up to 70,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They need more servers. I'm telling you now, they'll need more
Yeah.
servers.
It's a worry that they've already announced just be ready for queues. And okay, I'm fine with queues because I'd rather a busy server than an empty server. But like you said, why don't they bring out a few more servers just in case? And think
Easier
And-
said than done.
easy, yeah, 100%.
But-
I'm not a dev. This is just me being gamer brain.
Hmm.
But the quality of life and the things they've changed now is absolutely massive. And to any person that played New World and really enjoyed the game in launch, I would highly recommend going back. Give it an install. Go and log into probably a world that you didn't think you were on, because they've probably transferred servers or they've closed the server down or they've merged. Go and check it out. And if one of your issues with the game being the lack of content towards endgame, go and check it out. There's a lot more you can do now. There's a lot more avenues you can do to improve your gear score or to, get better, just to get down that road, so to speak. Now, with New World's fresh servers coming in, Amazon Games are doing a huge event. The biggest event I think they've done for New World. I haven't seen an event this size. Even on launch, I didn't see it anything with this amount of hype. And they've dubbed it Return to Aeternum, or Returnum to Aeternum, whichever you want to call it. And what the premises of this is, 4 servers are all competing with one another in a race. So there's 4 private servers, and they're full to the brim with streamers and communities of said streamers. And I've been fortunate enough to be invited to one of these servers. Big shout out to Danny for this. Thank you so much. You're a legend. And we're in this event, like I said, we're racing to do these challenges. We don't know what these challenges specifically are right now. We've been given dribs and drabs. So for an example, one of the challenges is called Iron Man. My first guess would be collect iron. I don't know if it's anything more detailed than that, but these servers are competing against one another. So there's everyone in one server is technically on the same team. And there's some absolutely massive streamers that are playing this. I'll get to a little list shortly. But the interesting thing that they've done with this Return to Aeternum event is with the drops that come to these channels, it's not just an event where, yay, we're in an event, cool, let's play with other streamers or like-minded gamers, let's have some fun. Oh, and my community get drops, cool. It's not just that. It's how far the teams actually progress through these challenges. So you've got 4 tiers of challenges, and within these tiers, there's 8 actual, challenges or 8 targets. And if you complete 6 out of 8 of these targets, you then move on to another tier. And if you move on to another tier, you then unlock another drop or a new set of drops, which is something I haven't seen before personally. I've been a part of the Escape from Tarkov drops, and then you've got the games that have the regular intervals of everyone gets drops. And it's just usually, watch this channel for 6 to 8 hours or 3 hours, and you get something for free, essentially. Whereas this actually means, the streamers or the participants in these teams actually have to do something, which is really interesting. And some of the streamers in this event is absolutely huge. You've got Bajira in one of the teams, absolute fanboying over that. He's I've watched that guy for years and years, going back to when he was like, I'm going to start doing weightlifting and bodybuilding when he was playing World of Warcraft. I can't believe he's in this event. There's you've got Asmund Gold, you've got Rich Campbell, you've got Redbeard, you've got BDLG, you've got some big names in the New World community, you've got some big names in MMO communities, and there's 4 teams, I think, is there? 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got 4 teams. You've got Trees Company, you've got The Bold and the Beautiful, you've got the Knights of the Coconut, and you've got Shifting Sands. Now, I was fortunate and very lucky to get an invite from Danny. So, again, if you see this, Danny, you're an absolute beauty. And I've also been able to manage to drag 2 of my mods, Shifty and Fragger. They're coming with us, and they're going to experience the new player experience on the private events on the Return to Aeternum event. Now, if you've seen, this is mainly directed at you, Shift and Fraggers, have you seen, to extent, the teams that are in this event? Have you seen some of the captains' names?
Yeah. I've seen some of it, and I've also seen the titles of the challenges.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've not gone into the details of checking those players out, because I think one important factor is as well, whoever's going to win this challenge isn't going to get anything really.
There's no prize
literally,
for the participants. This is more for the community and the viewers as such on Twitch.
To have fun, really.
Which
get back into the game.
It's going to be competitive, but it's not going to be like, we've got money on the line kind of thing. It's just going to be, let's do this for our communities. And I've seen a lot on Twitter, a lot of people saying, this team's going to win, this team's going to win, this team's going to win. And we are part of the Bold and Beautiful. They've definitely missed something, but
well, for you,
I'm
we got you in. That was me.
Yes, that was it.
We're bold enough for you. Don't worry.
Yeah,
cool. I'll carry the beautiful flag.
I'm beautiful. No, look, according to my mum, you haven't got that one.
What? But I've seen a lot of talk, and I've seen a lot of people saying that the Bold and the Beautiful team have a lot of grinders, a lot of OG New World players. I'm excited. And honestly, I've raided, I think I've raided 3 or 4 people this week after my streams. Every single person that I've raided has been in my team. I've never known this beforehand, but they've been in my team. And it's just been amazing. The New World community is just in a boom, or in a big of a hype at the moment. And it's just fun to see.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm trying to stay away from it. I've not touched the game yet. Like I said, 18th of February. I want to go through everything
kind of fresh again.
Yeah, essentially.
Now, the best part is with the Bold and the Beautiful team. Everyone in that team is creating a bold character. Fun fact, this is the first ever bold character I have made in an MMO or a game. Ever. ever. It's always had a
No.
mohawk or some like punky kind of hair. I have never made a bald character.
So I can't have Jim Bob Jones anymore then.
You could. It'll just have
No,
to be
he
Jim
only
Bald
he only
Jones.
works a dreadlock. No, that's an option.
There you go.
I'm not gonna lie, my New World character looks very, very close to what I look like already.
We all go
Like
through
even the
phases, son.
face, yeah, but even the face is, yeah.
Just hit random a few
Strange.
times. That's all.
Well,
That's dangerous.
it is.
But on that note, we are going to end it here. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us on an evening, a weekend evening. Thank you for taking your time out of your busy day. Hopefully, you guys had fun talking about the random stuff we spoke about. So,
Absolutely.
we'll call that Azzcast episode 2 finito. I'm going to go to bed. What time is it? I don't even know. It's 20 to 10.
100%.
It's way past my bedtime. I'm going to bed.
Basically midnight for you.
Pretty much. Well, it's past that. It's past my bedtime, so regardless, it's stupid early in the morning. But
You're
everyone,
not big
thank you
enough
for
to
sharing
stay
with
up
us.
longer.
Thank you for all the feedback from the first episode. All of the community that have reached out and helped me tweak some things or change some things. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Hopefully this episode is a little better with some technical things, the sound or the overlays or anything. All the feedback is greatly appreciated. So if there's something you noticed in this video, let me know. Chuck it down in the comments. And if there's something you want us to talk about in a future video, it could be a guest in the video, or it could be a subject with all 4 of us that are talking about. Let us know, and we'll get straight to it. We'll get some research in, and we'll go for there. So Shift, Fraggers, and Mav, thank you so much, guys. Anything you want to end on?
See you on
I think
Wednesday.
you've said it all.
Go
In
team
your
bold
world.
and beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go team, bold and beautiful. Peace.